evening's meeting to order. It is Tuesday, September 21st. It's the regular city council meeting for the city of Algonac. May I have roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Bembas.
Here.
Councilman Blair.
Here.
Councilman Gillis.
Here.
Councilwoman Harris.
Here.
Councilman Martin.
Here.
Councilman Starbeck.
Here.
Mayor Stoneburner.
Here.
Quorum present.
At this time, will everyone please take a moment of silent prayer? Will everyone please stand for the pledge? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a motion to approve this evening's agenda?
So moved. Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we have ourselves an agenda. We have two presentations this evening. First up, we have a Nice Neighbor Award and that will be presented by Councilman Jake Starbeck. Jake?
Can I have Mr. Jerry stand up and come up here? Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The Nice Neighbor Award. The City of Algonac presents a token of our gratitude to Jerry Martin and Jerry Martin Asphalt and Coating for your kindness and generosity in the work you do, the consideration you give others, especially nonprofit organizations, and the quality of work you perform is highly valued by your customers in this community. It embodies a definition of nice neighbor. Your community spirit sets an example for others to aspire to. We are grateful for your efforts in helping make the City of Algonac a great place to live, work, and play. Signed by our Mayor, Terry Stoneberg.
Thank you.
Jerry.
I think Mary should be in there.
Yeah. I've seen her.
She's out there slinging guitar with you for sure.
She makes it happen.
Sure is.
He's on all the other
Want a
stuff.
scrunch?
Yeah, it's fine, so Corey
Okay.
can get in.
It's right
All
there.
Is Corey in?
everybody. Corey's in. Jeez. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jerry.
Jerry, you're so appreciated by the residents of our community.
Thank you, I appreciate hearing that.
And you do good work besides. Next, we have Dan Casey. He's the CEO of the Economic Development Alliance. Dan?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. It's good to be back in front of you again. It's hard to follow a good neighbor, so I'm gonna try to be short tonight and appreciate you giving me the chance to present a little bit about the Economic Development Alliance. My name is Dan Casey, head up the organization. I've been with them for over 10 years now. So we have a great team, continues to work hard for the county. So for those of you that aren't familiar with the EDA, I just want to give you a little bit of information about who we are. There's two different models of economic development, basically across the country. One of them is the government-based model, where the economic development agency for a county is their city employees or county employees rather, and so they serve as essentially the county's effort to do economic development. That's not the most typical model, and the model that we're formed under is. And that is a public-private partnership, which is typically membership-based. And so that's how our county is set up. Some of our surrounding counties do their economic development differently. Macomb County has a government-based version. Oakland County, Wayne County, they have government-based, although Wayne County also has a private sector version called the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation. And then north of us, you have Huron and Sanilac counties. They have, it's called the Economic Development Corporation, which is formed just like we are. So, and then Lapeer County is just like we are as well, and so on. So you get the idea. Our county decided many, many years ago, back in 1952, that this is how we were gonna be formed. We began as a organization of, local business owners, who had businesses in the city of Port Huron back in '52. And, they wanted to be more involved in kind of shaping the future of the city. And so shortly after they formed the organization, they created a pool of funds that they loaned to the city of Port Huron to buy land to develop an industrial park. And then in later years, after the city bought that land and put the water and the sewer and all those things in. So in later years, our organization managed the marketing of all of those sites, the location or the attraction of companies to move there, the incentive packages, and then the construction of the buildings. The city ultimately built about 12 spec buildings in that park, and we handle all of that for them. And then right around 1990 or so, our organization became countywide, and so we reformed under a different name, which is the Economic Development Alliance, and that's what we've been doing ever since. So we've been around a long time. We do all the traditional things and more that economic development groups do. I actually pride ourselves on doing more in this arena than most of our counterparts do. So we do the typical things, which would include attraction of new industry to the county. It's all job-based and it's tax-based, right? So anytime somebody comes into the county, they're gonna pay taxes. If they build a building or expand a building, that generates new tax revenue. And of course, they employ a lot of people that all of us appreciate here at the municipal level. Those are taxpayers, homeowners, people that have kids in schools, people that are, using the local retail stores and so on. So attraction is kind of the typical thing, but there's also expansion work where we meet with companies, we help them solve business problems, and we help them with their expansion needs. Right now, the big issue is lack of workforce. So we're spending a lot of time working with employers on strategies to find workforce through non-traditional methods, incentive programs and things like that. So that's part of our, what I'd say is our core mission. We also market the county, and so anytime there's a company out there looking for a site for a project, it's our job to do that research, provide them with the data that they need, and then begin working with them to try to locate them here. And of course, we're competing all across the country. And in our location, we're also competing with Canada. So it's not an easy job, but I think we do it pretty well. So we do those things. We also do community development work, which is primarily focused on two things. It's focused on infill development. So when you have a spot that's not developed in a downtown, we get involved in trying to attract an investor to do projects in those areas. And secondly, rehab projects. So any building that's older, it's gotta be in a downtown to be eligible for state incentives. And then we do those kind of projects, and I'm gonna feature one of those in just a minute on the PowerPoint. And then lastly, we also do small business development. We run a business incubator. We have a countywide virtual incubator program. Basically, the countywide program is set up so that we can help any business that's starting anywhere in the county, and we provide them with ongoing counseling, some funding to get them started, and then other things, access to other grant funds and other programs. So our job is to help get them going, and eventually they spin off and do their own thing. So those are all some of the things that we do. If we could. So this is just a snapshot of where we are right now for this year. We're at about a little less than $160 million in total investment in the county from different projects. You can see a breakdown of where those projects are coming from. From year to year, it changes. Like last year and the year before, community development had the highest investment in the county, and attraction was the lowest. If you could change slides real quick. But this is why the attraction is so high this year, because this is one of the successful projects that we worked on, which is the attraction of Magna International's battery project to the St. Clair Industrial Park. We worked on this project, really it started right around January of this year, and a general contractor, they're a member of our organization, and they contacted us and said that they had an opportunity to compete for a project, and they wanted to know if we would work with them to submit this site for the project, and we said we would, of course. We didn't know who the company was, we didn't know what the project was, but nonetheless, we started working with them, and we made the short list. Originally, there were about 35 contractors around the state that were competing for this project. Later, I found out there's some teams in Ohio that were also competing for it. So we had to beat all of them out. We made the short list, which was eight different teams, and then we made the team, or the shorter list of 5, and then the shorter list of 3, and eventually we ended up winning the project. It's funny that, in a way, when I look back on it, that, and I learned this after the fact, that our primary competition thought that they had won this project. And it was a group called North Hill, which is a former Ross Perot company. So it's a big national development company. And they bought over 1,000 acres over by the Metro Airport in the Romulus area, Brownstown Township, in that area. And they thought they had this project won until our site got introduced. And all of a sudden, Magna got excited about our site and everything flipped. We still had to win it. We had to, prove to them that we had the workforce and everything else. So we eventually won the project, and then we had to work on the incentive package with the state locally. So we do that with tax abatements. We had all kinds of issues here that needed to be addressed, things like turnouts on Range Road because of the volume of cars that would be pulling in and pulling out. For safety reasons, they needed to have a bypass lane so people could turn left safely, things like that. So we got involved in that, wetlands, all kinds of issues. We can go on to the next one. Here's another project we worked on. I'm just giving you a flavor of some of the things that we're doing. This project's under construction right now, and it's gonna be done in October. This was one of our downtown projects. This one happens to be in Port Huron. And it's about a 25,000 square foot building that's been vacant for 10 years. And it's right in the main crossroads of the downtown in Port Huron. And it just sat there vacant for a long time, 2-story building. And so we started working with Steve Francis and Michelle, his girlfriend, and they had an interest in buying this site. They needed a lot of financial help and incentives to make this project work. And so ultimately we were able to work with them to get a grant from the state of Michigan in support of this project and a couple of other incentives. A PACE program, which is for electricity and basically utilities that are state of the art that reduce the overall cost for those utilities in the building. So there's a loan program that they applied for that. And ultimately this will result in 40 jobs, 2.3 million investment. But the most important part is it's filling up a building that's vacant, right? And it's a building that's been there for 10 years, non-productive, not doing anything. And Port Huron is a food desert. So the whole point of this grocery store was to provide people that live in the downtown a place to shop where they could walk to it or bike to it. They didn't need transportation to get to this store. So if we can move on, please. Thank you. So we've been marketing this, and forgive me if it says potential senior housing development, because that's kind of what we were told in the past that probably made sense here, but that may not be true today. But just recently we had turned somebody on to this site, an investment, a local couple. They've just ruled it out, quite honestly. They looked at it, they toured it, they talked to the real estate broker. They've ruled it out because they feel like it's a little bit more than they can bite off right now, given the other work that they're doing. And they also have concerns about whether your city would accept a senior project. So that comes from them, not us. But I just wanted to share with you that we have behind the scenes been working on this particular site to market it. And that was the latest example. Could you go to the next one, please? So here's another project that we're working on right now. We get involved in all kinds of things that you probably wouldn't expect. One of the things we're doing right now is leading a grant-funded project for Region 6. And Region 6 is the 7-county region that St. Clair County is a part of. And so we applied on behalf of the region for an Industry 4.0 grant through the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. And we got it. It's about $135,000. And the purpose of this is to help companies begin to make the transition into Industry 4.0. And really, it's a survival strategy. A lot of these businesses are not going to survive in the future if they don't find a way to bring automation into their manufacturing plants or into their back office processes. And so this project is supposed to begin to introduce them to those concepts, right? So we had Andy Storm from Eckhart, president of Eckhart, do a presentation at the Eastern Michigan Manufacturing Association, which is an organization that we formed on Industry 4.0. And Andy's going to be coming onto my podcast in the future and having another conversation about that. And we're going to have him be a speaker on some webinars as well. So we have companies in 7 counties that will be part of this project, and at the end of the day, we have some grant money that's going to be available for them to help with training of new employees. So, next slide, please. Here's another thing that we did during COVID. We've been very involved in COVID, more so than a lot of the economic development agencies in the state. But we've all pretty much been involved in managing grant programs. Our involvement that's above and beyond that is we're working directly with the health department on a number of initiatives, promoting people getting vaccinated, things like that. I don't want to get into any political issues, but that's what we were charged to do, so that's what we did. And it had a whole marketing campaign behind it. But one of the things that we were asked to do is administer several different grant programs during the pandemic. I think it was 7 at last count, 7 different funding programs. Some of them were opened up to businesses anywhere in the county. And then a couple of the programs were very specific based on where the funding was coming from for certain communities. But we managed all of them and we did it for free. We didn't ask for a dime from the communities to do it. We probably gave out $1.5 million over about the last 18 months, and most of it within the last 12 months. So Algonac businesses got about $60,000 of that. Just to give you an example, Colony Bowl got $20,000. Johnny Legas got $20,000. Doc 421 and Algonac Flaming Grill and Scoreboard and More were some of the companies that got funded through some of these grants. It's another project. We haven't had much involvement with this, but we've been talking to the developers and the owners of Cabana Blue Waterfront Restaurant. We're really excited about this, and we think this is going to be a great addition to this southern part of the county. So we're really excited to see it open, and hopefully we're going to have an event here in the future after it opens up for all of our membership. So I just wanted to touch on that as well. And then this is just a general statement, but basically the reason I'm here tonight is we're a membership-based organization. As you know, we have 11 communities that are currently members. We help communities whether they're a member or not. It doesn't matter. I mean, we have a responsibility to the county to provide service and to do that. But we do ask communities to be members so that we're all rowing in the same direction. I know that's kind of cliche, but that's the bottom line, really. All of the communities that are members right now, by and large, are the larger cities and the townships that are growing. And then we have a couple of townships that we're hoping to join that are involved in the Marine City Highway Corridor project, which I'll talk about in a minute. But the goal is to get everybody working together. I've been with this organization over 10 years. It has not always been that way. And what we've seen is that communities can be successful doing their own thing, but if they partner with other communities and if we're all working together, things are easier, things go faster, and there can be more help. And quite honestly, that's the bottom line. So, yeah, we have a dues structure for communities to join, and it's based on your population. And I don't even care about that so much because it's not really about the money for me. It's more about we want all the communities in the county to be members, so that as we work together, that everybody benefits, every community benefits. And I can't emphasize enough, because communities oftentimes overlook this. It's the importance of jobs, new jobs in the community. And I'm gonna use Magna as an example. So the Magna project is landing in the city of St. Clair, and St. Clair Township's also gonna get some tax revenue out of that project. But 1 week after that project was announced, we had 3 subdivision announcements that followed. One was in St. Clair, one was in St. Clair Township, and one was in Kimball Township. All 3 of them resulted because of the jobs that Magna was gonna be bringing to that plant. And we have a housing shortage. So all those developers saw an opportunity to make money by building homes and selling them. That's what we call the spin-off effect that happens in economic development, right? That's gonna create more jobs, construction jobs and other types of jobs in the community, and it's also gonna support all the retailers and so forth. When people move there, the schools will benefit. So you get the idea of how it all works and why jobs are so important. The other thing is that Magna is gonna be paying higher wages than most manufacturers in our county. So you're gonna have some people that are probably gonna leave the place where they are working today, and they're gonna better their economic condition by taking jobs that pay more. So that's another thing that we focus on. You can move on, I think, just the last slide. Yeah. So that's just who I am. I've thrown a lot at you. I just wanna open up and take questions in a minute, but before I do that, one of the projects that we're working on, almost forgot to mention this, is the 26-mile road corridor. And I think you guys have probably all heard about a lot of that work, and some of your team is involved in it. So the county believes that the 26-mile road corridor is the next growth corridor in St. Clair County. But it has spotty water and sewer, and there are some road improvements that are needed. And there's multiple communities along that corridor, right? And so we've begun having meetings with them and with their boards and councils to ask them what their stance would be for the extension of water and sewer along that corridor to enhance the growth so it can happen a little bit faster and also in a more coordinated way. So one of the things that we're doing is we're gonna be conducting a road corridor study. We did an RFP, we received proposals, and I'm on the interview team. We'll be interviewing those companies in the next couple, 3 to 3 weeks. We're gonna hire someone. It's gonna take about a year to do the study. And when we're done, what's gonna come out of that, among other things, is they're gonna be looking at water and sewer capacities that exist along that corridor, both in Ira Township and the Marine City system and also the Cottreville system, right? And your system is tied into the Ira Township side of that. And so we're gonna be looking at that, and we're gonna try to make some decisions on where to invest some of the county's $25 million in ARPA funds. I've been a proponent of giving communities the chance to submit proposals that are located in these areas for what could you do with the money to improve that situation. And in your case, it might be improving your water and sewer plants, right? Or expanding pipe sizes, or, you know, you've got some challenges. So you would potentially be eligible for some of the county's grant money to improve those systems, which could help downstream in Ira Township, Clay Township, and so on. We had a meeting last week in East China Township, and again, this is why we want to work together. We had China Township, East China Township, Marine City were all in that particular meeting. In retrospect, we probably should have had St. Clair in the meeting as well, but we didn't invite them. We can invite them in the future. And then we had some other people. We had an engineer, we had the road commission, and some other people. And the purpose of the meeting was that East China Township is looking to extend their sewer system along King Highway to the border of Marine City, because there's a proposed new subdivision over there that does not have sewer access currently. So we're now looking at that, and we said, okay, well, we understand why you want to do that. What if you took that same money and you extended your system the other direction towards St. Clair, and we took the Marine City system and extended that along King Road? What would that do? And they hadn't really thought about it. But St. Clair has problems with their system, and they provide sewer to St. Clair Township, where there's a lot of growth happening. So the idea was, if we could free up some of St. Clair's capacity, they would now have more capacity to serve St. Clair Township, and East China Township could pick up that capacity, so they would still get a lot of revenue, but they'd have to make some changes to their system to make it happen, but it would be feasible to do that, and then that would allow Marine City's system, which is only at about 35% capacity currently, to get some more users on their system in East China Township. So you see, we're looking at it more from a regional perspective than from just a local community's perspective. And your community is right at the heart of all of this, because you're already providing your sewer and water capacity to places like Iowa Township, where a lot of the growth will be coming in the near future. Okay, with that, I'll open it up if you have any questions, or I can sit back down.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You talked about, growth in the downtown area. In the past 18 months, we heard about different grants that were available, but you needed to be in a traditional downtown. You know we don't have a traditional downtown.
I do.
Okay. Would there still be those kind of opportunities for us, without being traditional?
So I believe there is, that's a state of Michigan grant program called the Community Revitalization Fund or program. And so the MEDC, the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, sets the rules. And they have limited funding, and they never have enough money to provide all of the service and all the money that's needed across the state. So they put criteria in place to limit it, and they decided to focus on downtowns. Well, they got so much pushback from people like me that about a year ago, they began changing their criteria. So now they have commercial corridors included in their definition. So you don't necessarily have to be a traditional downtown, but it has to be on a commercial corridor.
Okay. Anyone else have any comments or
Yes, I do.
questions?
Just trying to learn, not put you on a spot or anything. So the people who came to you talking about the school, did they come to you, or did you reach out to them?
We reached out to them.
You did,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, cause that school is a pain, but, so somebody says, comes to you, or how does that work?
Both ways.
Okay,
And a lot of times it'll come through a real estate broker, or people know who we are and they'll call us directly, or through a third party, somebody that knows who we are that they talk to. But we also do a lot of that work ourselves, where we're reaching out to investors, developers, or people that just are looking to do certain types of projects. So in Marine City, for example, the Little Bar is now for sale again. So we're gonna be marketing that building and that restaurant opportunity to people that we know that are looking to start restaurants.
okay. That project of mine, what do you do with swimming pools? We need a new pool.
So, that sounds like a grant opportunity, and perhaps we could look to the community to help seed fund that project. What's it gonna cost to?
Right now, we're saying 1.7 million.
Oh, okay, that's a little bigger than just, reaching out. Local residents to help out, so,
Right.
okay, we'll have to talk to you offline about that.
Okay.
Anyone else? Thank you, Dan.
Thank you for your time.
Appreciate you coming. All right. Now it's time for public comments. Remember, if you care to speak, you have 5 minutes to speak. State your name and your address, please.
Give me a minute before you start the clock, please. Hopefully I get time to show you my show and tell project. You set my timers somewhat on track.
Well, our clerk has a timer as well. So.
All right, well, this lets me know when I need to shut up. All righty. Let me get this started, 1 second. Alright, I'm Jim Osenchanik, I'm at 909 Market, I also 905 Market. I spoke with you last week about just some of the process and fees associated with having a driveway replacement. And so I thought I'd give you a little conversation of why I think there's a policy that we really need to look at. So my total fees were $50 for the permit and 2 inspection fees at $75 each for $200. On a $10,000 project, that's 2%. $5,000, that's 4%. A $1,000 project is 20%. Okay. I've done a number of projects on my house, and I have a number of others that are coming forward. I plan to put together a list of them, but basically it's about 18 projects, okay, including 2 furnaces and 2 AC units, which I am going to go forward with at this time because I already got prices and approved it. All right. The city at one time used to have a body and staff that went around and did inspections and code enforcement. All right, they paid for that, an FTE body. They've recently changed that policy and they now have a contractor that they contract with, and that contractor receives $38 an hour times 8, about $300 a week, and they receive, and the city receives approximately 25% of the revenue and the fees. That's my understanding. Contractor gets the majority of it, minus the $300 that you put into it. Now, I think that's a very bad policy, and I think it's a bad policy for this reason. You're putting these fees on people who are doing work in their house, and we do not want to do that. We want to make construction on a house as easy as possible. We want to be partners in this area, okay? So I mentioned that I have probably another 16 or 17 projects, okay? Approximately another $3,000 potentially in fees on a $60,000. 5.5% of my overall would be fees. At this point, I'm not moving forward with any other projects except for my 2 furnaces. It just doesn't make sense for me to do that. So we need to sit down and talk or chat on this, but this is not a good policy where you're paying this inspector to basically come in and do inspections. So one of the inspections was on, to make sure that the driveway was packed right. I asked the contractor, did he stick a prod in there? Did he do anything? Nope, just looked at it. One of the inspector was make sure the cement was in right. Did he tap on it? Did he kick it? Did he dig by it? Nope, just looked at it. $150 that I didn't need to pay, okay? And this is gonna continue. And so I'd say it's bad government. And an example I give you is mistakes. When I call it mistakes, because I put a statue up, by the way, I had a 2x2 slab, I could have probably gotten a couple more permits and inspection fees on that. But, the sticks came in, they looked at it, they plotted where the gas line is, the city came in, they plotted their lines, utilities came in, plotted their lines, they charged me nothing. Because we're partners. So the city, we wanna be partners, you wanna be partners with the people. The last thing you wanna be doing is putting bureaucracy and fees on people who wanna do work in their house. And that's what's happening. And so, we've eliminated an FTE, you don't have to pay for that FTE, and you've now empowered this person who has a lot of power. And by the way, you can't get a hold of them. They had 2 phone numbers, I called both phone numbers, both was voicemail, that's fault, and he didn't return my calls. So you got this person with a lot of power coming in, slapping fees on you, and you can't get a hold of them, you can't talk to them, and you're just stuck with the fees. And in the meantime, if you go by my house, so many people walk by and say how beautiful the house at 905 were. Look, I mean, I hear it all the time. The house at 909 is gonna look just as beautiful next year with the new roof, the new windows, the new siding, the new porch, the new shed. I gotta rip out some cement in there. I'm gonna rip out the stone in front of 905 so it goes grass, which is what we want, right in front of our houses, not parking on the street. I wanna put a gazebo in the side yard, fence, one that's screened in. I wanna replace the sheds. I mean, I got a lot of work I wanna do, but it's all on hold right now. And I mentioned before that the contractor that did my house, when he did my house, he also did my neighbors, which is a much smaller job. That job is not done. Someone needs to reach out to that contractor. I suspect he's slighted as well on this deal. 35 years in the business, never had to do a permit, all of a sudden he gets surprised. So anyway, I just want to say that's a bad policy, and I hope the city relooks at it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, if I could, this is a project I want to do. Look how beautiful this classic rock is, and I want to do this around my foundation. And not an inexpensive job, a masonry contractor. And I think a lot of other communities, or a lot of other houses in Algonac would do this as well. To fix my porch and to fix the areas where there was an addition. So anyway, there's a lot we can do.
It'll look nice.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alright. Anyone else?
Hello, dog 87 Smith. I want to apologize to Lisa if she thought that any of what I had discussed had anything to do with the city clerk's job performance, because it didn't. It had nothing. Everything that she did was above board, what she's required to do through the FOIA laws. Nothing to do with that. Just like she says in the memo that you guys all have, that the requests are filtered through the clerk, who then reaches out to each department to gather records available in order to respond to the request within the time periods that through the FOIA. Nothing that I had said to all of you had anything to do with the FOIA process. It had to do with the information that I gathered through the process. When I'm looking through this memo, it had said that the reason that that there was a delay in the information for the special permit for the bourbon and brews was it had to be extended while awaiting updated insurance certificate. Well, here's the thing. I got 2 sets of points. The one for the first event and one for the second event. The certificate of liability insurance, they're dated the same day. And when that May 2nd date is the date that was issued. So both of those were issued to the event organizer, and I'm assuming given to the city at the same time on the same day. I looked into a bit of how that works, because I've never had to have a certificate of liability insurance form before, but for that particular issuance of that form is through ACCORD, which is the Association for Cooperative Operations, Research and Development. That form is standard. They have different variations of it, but it's a standard form. And they actually, you Google this and it says, how do you read one of those forms? And the first thing on there is the date. That is the date that the form was issued. I got that in the first set. I got the liability, got it in the second set. Both of those have the same dates. It was absolutely nothing to do with the city clerk's job. It was the information that she was given that I questioned. I was given COVID-19 safety plans twice, because they had the same dates for both events. It's right there on the first page, gives the dates for the 2 events. I got it twice. The only thing that was different was the special event application. That was the only thing that was different. Now, apparently, there were 4 versions of special application permit in the span between, well, when Bill Brady first signed his, which it was January, submitted in April. He filled one out that on the bottom of it has July 1st, 2019. 13 days later, Social Connection submits a form. The version of that is 6/22/2018. The one that Social Connection filled out for the second event in August has a date on the bottom of 2021. Then the one that you guys have on the city's website is July 22nd, 2021. We got a whole bunch of versions, so I got no clue. I questioned the information that I was given. I didn't question the city clerk at all. I know how the FOIA laws work. well aware of how they work. So I just wanted to clear that part up. And I see that on the agenda is you're going to appoint a housing commission. I have to withdraw my application. I have, other commitments, and it could possibly cause a conflict in the future. So unfortunately, I have to withdraw my application for housing. In going through the charter and looking at some other things, it would be a conflict. So unfortunately, I have to withdraw. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address council?
I'm Davey, 710 Smith. A few weeks ago, Jim was here with a other guy talking about construction in town here. Well, we the people vote for all of yous. You guys hire Miss Gerstenberg. You keep referring stuff back to Miss Gerstenberg after people have been up here repeatedly asking for help. Mr. Ocean Shine's here again tonight asking for help. You people hire her. She works for you. You do not work for her. All I have to say is she had a man in her office also with a disability form from his doctor, putting him totally disabled. Sorry, but according to the American Disabilities Act, she has to honor it. She would not. I would fire her if she was my employee today. All I know is people are very upset in this town because we elected you to serve for us, the people. And I've got people talking to me on the streets, in the stores, and they don't like what's going on here. And contractors too have talked to me. They will not do work in town here. We're losing 2 banks. We'll have 2 banks gone. What has Miss Gerstenberg done to go get the bank Huntington to stay here? Nothing. I'd fire her today. That's all I have to say.
All right. Anyone else like to speak? No one? All right, we'll go on with our agenda then. Next is our city manager's report. Mrs. Gerstenberg.
Thank you, Mayor Stoneberger. I would like to start off by pointing out the new fall banners that we have mounted on the wall by the television. So last meeting, City Council approved the purchase of the new banners for our streetlights, and they came in this morning. So as soon as it stops raining, we will be replacing the art fair banners with the new Halloween and fall banners. So they turned out very nice. I'd also like to mention that the Robbins Water Main and Road project is currently under construction. And I will again remind everyone about the yard waste, that's continue to put your yard waste in paper leaf bags or 30-gallon trash containers. The leaf vacuum will be out November 8th through the 19th, and will complete one rotation of the city, starting at the south end. If you missed the window, the last Ontario yard waste pickup will be November 26th, which is the day after Thanksgiving. Algonac Alive, which is one of our local nonprofits, they set a goal at the beginning of this year to raise $10,000 to purchase 2,650 lineal feet of commercial grade garland and 60 red bows to decorate the riverfront park for the holidays. I'm happy to share with you that Algonac Alive met their fundraising goal, and the new garland and bows have been delivered to the city. Will be up this Christmas. As regards to the Algonac pool, the architect is working on the construction plans. He has finished gathering information, and he is working on preparing those construction plans, and we'll be hearing more about that over the next few months. I'd also like to read a city attorney letter dated September 15th, 2021, responding to Don Davies' communication with city council on September 7th concerning FOIA issues. This is a letter you have in your packet from city attorney Jim Downey to myself, the city manager, and it says, and I'll read to you, Dear Ms. Gerstenberg, city resident Don Davy presented city council a written communication at the September 7th regular meeting in which she raised questions about whether administration properly responded to requests made under the state's Freedom of Information Act, and requested that city council give the matter the due diligence it requires. I have reviewed the written statement of City Clerk Lisa Borges in direct response to Ms. Davies' letter dated September 8th and support the city clerk's analysis. Michigan joined many states across the country in adopting its version of FOIA in 1976 in response to the federal Watergate scandal. The state law has been amended from time to time, with the most recent comprehensive revision done in 2015. Under then City Manager Doug Alexander, the city used the 2015 amendments to update its FOIA policies and practice consistent with the changes. City Council adopted the new local policies encouraged by Mr. Alexander in April of 2015. The city has considered all FOIA requests in light of that updated policy ever since. It has never been sued for alleged FOIA violations since the adoption of the 2015 policy, and I am unaware of any lawsuit the city has ever defended concerning FOIA, and my office has represented the city since its enactment. Ms. Borges wrote a memorandum to the city manager the day following the receipt of Ms. Davies' correspondence that addresses each of Ms. Davies' allegations. It is outstanding, concise, and direct. She clarifies unambiguously and succinctly that Ms. Davy received timely responses to all 6 of her FOIA requests, that the city clerk alone is the FOIA coordinator, that the city manager plays no role in processing FOIA requests unless she possesses a document the clerk must retrieve as part of the city's response, that there was no reference to nefarious purpose beyond the numbering of Ms. Davies' requests, and that the timely responses to items number 2 and 5 were issued later than the other 4 responses because she needed to provide updated insurance certificates in response to those 2 requests, where they were not immediately available. Ms. Borges correctly notes that administration abides by the policy adopted by City Council in 2015. Any suggestion to the contrary is unsupported by facts and untrue. Lisa Borges is an excellent clerk who takes seriously her role as the city's FOIA coordinator. I have worked closely with her on a number of issues related to the city's policy generally and on individual requests specifically. Ms. Davies' suggestion that there is any impropriety in the city's issuance of timely FOIA responses is baseless. I hope my opinion on this matter is clarifying and serves as part of the due diligence requested by Ms. Davy. If you or any individual council members have any questions regarding this matter, please do not hesitate to contact me. Very truly yours, James Downey Jr. Thank you, Mr. Ryan.
Thank you. Next, we're being asked to approve the consent agenda. This consent agenda consists of our city council meeting minutes from September 7th, 2021, our departmental reports, light enforcement, building, DPW, finance, fire department, water department, and our boards and commission roster. We have a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Comments, questions, concerns? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we've approved our consent agenda. We have no unfinished business, so we'll get right into our new business, and that is to approve the proposal for 2021 bridge inspections. The Federal Highway Administration developed and implemented a national program to assure bridges are safe. Every 24 months, communities are required to inspect their bridges using the National Bridge Inventory, a 0 to 9 rating scale. Inspectors give a rating to each of the bridge's primary elements, deck, superstructure, and substructure, and submit this information to MDOT. Anderson, Eckstein, and Westrick Incorporated would conduct these bridge inspections and submit the necessary documentation to MDOT. The following bridges would be inspected: on Ruskin Avenue over the Oriole Canal, Edgewater Drive over the Bateau Canal, Venetian Way over the canal parallel to M29, Channelside Drive over the canal parallel to M29, and Roselawn Court over canal parallel to M29. The proposal is for the 5 routine inspections, which would be $850 each for a total of $4,250. AEW satisfactorily completed the last required round of inspections for the city. Because of their recent load rating documentation efforts, AEW does not anticipate needing to perform a new load calculation for these structures at a cost savings to the city this next 24-hour period. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve proposal for 2021 Algonac Bridge inspections from Anderson, Eckstein, and Westrick, whose address is 51301 Shana Road in Shelby Township, in the amount of $4,250, and direct the city manager to sign the proposal on behalf of the city.
Support. Comments, questions, concerns? Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Dundas.
Yes.
Councilman Blair.
Yes.
Councilman Gillis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Scarback.
Yes.
Mayor Stoneburner.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next, we're being asked to approve a proposal for cross-connection control program inspection services. The goal of a cross-connection control program is to protect your drinking water, the drinking water system and the city's distribution system from various forms of contamination. Due to the recent changes in the state of Michigan's Safe Drinking Water Rules, Part 399, the Michigan Department of Environmental Control or Quality now requires that all residential backflow devices must be tested periodically to ensure they are working properly. Commercial and industrial customers have been required to test their backflows for many years. We received 2 quotes for the inspection services, and it is recommended that we accept the bid from the low bidder, Hydro Corporation Incorporated. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve proposal for cross-connection control program inspection services from Hydro Incorporated, whose address is 5700 Crooks Road, Suite 100, Troy, Michigan, and the amount of $42,528, and direct the city manager to sign the contract on behalf of the city.
I'll support.
I'll start off the discussion. As I said before, that businesses have been doing this for the past few years. Eagle is now enforcing it for residential homes that they're included in the cross-connection inspections. The proposal shows that they will perform all the necessary inspections and document the results. They also will be the company that will send out all the notifications needed to inform the public in regards to the inspections and the re-inspections. They will handle all of that. Any other comments, questions, or concerns? Roll call, please.
Councilman Blair.
Yes.
Councilman Gillis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Scarback.
Yes.
Mayor Stoneburner.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dundas.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next, we're being asked to approve an emergency tree removal. On August 17th, 2021, City Council approved tree removal in the right-of-way in 2 locations, one on St. Clair Boulevard and one on Michigan Street. Timbers Tree Service had provided a quote for both trees in the total of $3,500. In the recent storm on August 24th, one of the trees approved for removal, located at Michigan Street, was damaged by the storm and in danger of taking out electrical and communication wires. Timbers Tree Service rearranged their schedule and removed it as an emergency removal. The cost of the emergency tree removal is $3,850. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve emergency tree removal in the right-of-way at 1735 Michigan by Timbers Tree Service, whose address is 3037 King Road, China Township, in the amount of $3,850.
Support.
Comments, questions, concerns?
Mayor, I have a question.
Yes.
We discussed this a little bit before. for, but would it be prudent to have DPW go out and check the trees? To see, are there any, in the future that may fall down during storms? I mean, you can't totally project that.
Well, right
But
now,
maybe-
let's talk about what we're asked to approve, and then that would be a conversation for later.
That's
Okay. When our DPW contacted Timbers, they were out within a couple hours. This was something that could not wait, and so they got here right away. I know a lot of people had to wait for things, but that was a serious one to remove. Any other comments, questions, and concerns about the motion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Gillis,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris,
Yes.
Councilman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Scarback,
Yes.
Mayor Stoneburner,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Bendis,
Yes.
Councilman Blair,
Yes.
motion carried.
Now we're being asked to fill the vacancy on the Algonac Housing Commission. There's currently one vacancy on the Housing Commission due to the resignation of Dina Reynolds. We received 2 applications, one from Dawn Davy and one from Bernard Ferris, but this evening we all heard that Dawn Davy is removing her name from consideration. All terms on the Housing Commission are for a period of 5 years. Since Ms. Reynolds' term will expire June 30th, 2022, the appointment would be to fulfill the unexpired term. May I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to appoint Bernard Ferris to the Algonac Housing Commission for a partial term ending June 30th, 2022.
Support.
I'd like to start off the discussion. I knew this, opening was going to happen and sought out, applicants or people to apply. On September 7th is when we received the official letter from Ms. Reynolds, and so that's why we have it on here right now. Any other comments, questions, or concerns?
I'd just like to thank Dawn Davy for showing an interest, even though she can't fulfill that. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I really planned on it, but, sorry.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, Mr. Ferris is joining the Housing Commission. Next, we're being asked to approve our accounts payable and payroll. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve accounts payable and payroll in the amount of $2,623,719.01.
Support. Comments, questions, concerns?
I think, I'd like to point out that $2,399,000 is taxes.
Yeah.
Not money we're expending.
That is a large one. Every once in a while we have it's a very large number. Any other comments, questions, or concerns? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Harris,
Yes.
Councilman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Scarback,
Yes.
Mayor Stoneburner,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Bendis,
Yes.
Councilman Blair,
Yes.
and Councilman Gillis,
Yes.
motion carried.
Mrs. Gerstenberg, what is on our next agenda?
Thank you, Mayor Stoneburner. We may be reviewing a feasibility study for the school, establishment of the 2021 Halloween events trick-or-treating hours, a water plant informational presentation, and a presentation by Mary Gillis regarding the core communication bars, and an award to Mary Gillis for being Teacher of the Year.
All right, thank you. All right, next are council comments. Councilman Blair.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming out this evening. Congratulations, Jerry Martin, Mary Martin. Dawn Davy, thank you for, again, having an interest in one of our boards. Mr. Casey, always a pleasure to see you, for sure. Thanks for coming out, spending some time and giving us a little education here about what you guys do. Appreciate that. Besides that, I think Halloween and the next coming, and I'm not gonna steal Mike's thunder, cause he's probably ready for it,
I
so.
still got more to talk about, so go ahead.
So, we have some storms coming up, let's look out for our neighbors in the next couple of days, you know, Algonac has sometimes a power issue, so let's, have the heads up for our neighbors and do our due diligence if we can. Thank you for coming out, everybody, and I think we'll give a great evening. Can't talk, it's rare.
Councilman Gillis.
I just want to let Councilman Blair know that my generator is now fixed.
Oh, good to know, because mine is not.
Last power outage, we tried to use my generator at his house. Thank you everybody for coming out. Congratulations, Jerry. Thank you, Dan, for your presentation. Thank you, Dawn, for being upfront and letting us know ahead of time, so.
Like I said, I'm sorry.
No, you know, it's very important. It was great that you let us know, so we didn't have to.
Yeah, cause it would've been a whole other thing.
So, and that's really all I have this evening. I'm gonna give my time to Councilman, or Mayor Pro Tem Bemis to talk about Halloween in Enact.
Alrighty.
Mayor Pro Tem Bemis, you
How
have
about
the
that?
floor.
Well, now I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
No.
right.
You know, we all have things to learn, we all have ways to improve ourselves in the city. Nobody has all the answers, but I wonder, after hearing comments a couple weeks in a row, I'd like to know in the future how our fees, compared to other cities, as far as building permits, you know, are we similar to other communities around us? I'd be interested in seeing that. We wanna make sure that we do the right thing on both sides of the coin. And, like I said, there's always something we can learn or improve our city. We have rules to set, sometimes those rules can be changed, sometimes they can't, but it's definitely well worth looking into. October 16th, Halloween in Enact. Anybody who sees Facebook has seen all the different posts I put of all the different businesses in the area who are participating. It's gonna be almost double the amount of events as last year. A lot of games for the kids, magicians, parades, robotics team. This year we're adding craft show with 15 vendors so far. At least, probably even bigger than that. That's a pretty big craft show. And I just found out today, Annie's Cutting Curls sponsoring a game, and she's so excited. She went out and she bought plywood and she made this and that and big bowl. Holy cow, she loves Halloween. What I like about it too is it's a local business. So we want to support our local business because they support us. Scoreboard and More is bringing a chalk artist drawing event to take up most of the parking lot behind Dairy Queen. And that's new this year, and that's great. And of course, if we love our skate park, Dank Dash, the name of the company, is sponsoring that this year. And the funds we make from that go to keep fixing up the skate park and making improvements there. I'll talk to you later, because I want to find out why.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Dude, I didn't do it, and you can't prove it.
And that's all I have.
Well, I got one thing I wanted to check with, when you get here, when we come here.
I was literally gonna ask that.
First Tuesday meeting in November, I already talked to Annie, and she'll be here, and then we'll talk to our other beauty shop and see if they wanna be here too. And the reason, and it's just a selfish reason, I don't care if I'm bald for Christmas, but I can't be bald for Halloween. So it's gotta be the first Tuesday in November, because I don't wanna ruin my Halloween costume by having a clean shaven head. I don't know if that's egotistical or vain or whatever.
Yes, it is.
I probably would have, like, yeah.
That was my plan to go as Uncle Fester, and now he's acting.
Okay, I think that's enough.
All right.
Pardon me, that's it.
No, you're fine.
Councilman Martin?
Yeah, I just wanna thank Jerry, for being, showing the kindness he shows to our citizens. And thank you, Dan, for being at our meeting, and that's it.
All right. Councilwoman Harris?
Thank you, Dan, for being here. Sorry, Don. I also would like to know about the process and the follow-up with the permits. And everybody have a nice night.
Councilman Scarbitt?
I once again want to congratulate the Martins. Thank you guys for everything you do. Sorry, Dawn, and thank you guys for all coming. Have a good night.
You know, I forgot to mention one thing. You know, a lot of times, you know, somebody said, and I forget who, making laws is like making sausage. You don't always know what goes into it before it comes out what it is. But one of the reasons why we have this gentleman here is we know that we have a school to fix, rip out, do something with. We know we have 2 empty banks, and that's where this gentleman here comes in. I wanna thank Denise for bringing him here, and I know Rocky was also instrumental in asking this gentleman to come here, so we are working at it, we're looking at it, we're trying to do right things. Unfortunately, things don't turn around overnight, do they? So, thank you.
Thank you, Jerry, for being you, because you are just a nice neighbor. And you wouldn't be who you are without your lovely wife, Mary. Thank you both. We have the homecoming parade's coming up at 4 o'clock on October 1st. They're actually gonna have a parade, they're gonna have a football game, they're gonna do it all up, they're gonna have homecoming. And I'm pleased to say they moved homecoming up for fear the end of October would be too late, things would be shut back down. So, it's really important for the kids to be able to have those kind of things through their high school career, because you can't recreate that, especially for the seniors. You can't say, oh, we'll do it another time. And Superintendent Lato's explained, it's like you and I could go on a vacation, we could postpone it. You can't postpone homecoming till when you've gone away to college or trade school, or you're working after you graduate. It's gone, it's gone. So I think that's wonderful they're doing that. We also on October 8th have Pierogi Fest at the VFW, sponsored by Algonac Alive. Tickets are for sale all around town, including here at City Hall. I have 2 tickets left of my own to sell. I've sold the other ones. So if you need tickets, come see me. It's $25 a ticket. Food's from Polish Village Cafe. Yum, yum, yum. We have the Polish dancers coming back that everybody enjoyed so much, the young dancers. And that was a lot of fun. It's from 5:30 to 8:30 at the VFW. So hope to see you there. And we talked about, we're gonna talk about the hours for Halloween at our next meeting. But I just wanna let you know we have the trunk or treat going on again this year over by Smith Field. And from 5 to 7, we do the trunk or treat, and the Algonac Rotary Club will be back once again, giving out hot dogs, and bonfire at 7. So hope to see everybody at that. We also have a former resident from Algonac and Clay Township. She's lived in her home for over half her life. And she is turning 100 years old on September 29th. So happy birthday, Virginia Meadows. Couldn't wish you a better birthday. She has spent many years residing in the city, and she has supported our city all along. So have a very happy birthday, Virginia. And I think that was it for announcements. That's Jake's. Yep, okay. Now, normally we would ask for an adjournment tonight.
Mayor Stumberger?
Oh, yes.
If you don't mind, I'd like to answer a question that had been asked this evening.
Okay.
Mr. Davy had made an accusation today about a resident who came in with an ADA request. This is a very well-known resident in the community who came to the counter last Thursday and submitted a letter that he asked me to sign indicating that I had received it, that he had been, had a letter from like a nurse or doctor's office that he had become disabled. He had said that because he was disabled, he did not have to clean up the blight on his property, which I disagreed with him and said that even though he was disabled, he did have to clean up the blight that was on his property. And also, earlier that day, his wife had made contact with the city promising that all of the blight would be cleaned up that weekend, and it was. All of the blight on his property was on by Monday, because I drove by his house to see. So, because you are disabled, you still are required to maintain your property. I did accept his letter that said he was disabled and made that a part of his file. His wife made good on her promise to have the property, maintained and cleaned up. It was all taken care of.
Thank you. All right. Normally, we adjourn at this time, but we're going to go into closed session as permitted by the state statute 15.268A. There are several permissible reasons for local governments to meet in closed session in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. And one of them is to consider a periodic personnel evaluation of an employee. The city manager's 4-year anniversary with the city of Algonac is on September 25th, 2021. Consequently, per contract, it is an appropriate time for an annual review by city council. Closed session is requested for this discussion. There will be 2 motions required. One will be to enter the closed session and one will be to adjourn the closed session once discussion is concluded. May I have the first motion, please?
I'll make a motion to enter the closed session as permitted by state statute 15.268A to consider periodic personnel evaluation of city manager.
Support.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Scarback,
Yes.
Mayor Stillburner,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Bembas,
Yes.
Councilman Blair.
Yes.
Councilman Gillis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Harris.
Yes.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.